Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to 8 American things that Britain doesn't have a word for, part 7. I've reacted to a good at least 4 or 5 parts of these. I feel like I've missed maybe 1 or 2 out, but I've seen most of these videos. And they're always quite interesting, hopefully you're going to enjoy. If you want more of these reactions to maybe the ones that I haven't seen, let me know in the comments. But we're going to jump into this, and I mean, yeah, let's check it out.
I'm not going to do that, I'm just stalling because I struggled to come up with 8 entries for the 7th part in this series. Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to things and stuff, specifically things and stuff that the other country doesn't have a word for. And somehow this entire series is now up to part 7, which is frankly ridiculous, and I almost wouldn't keep it going were it not for the fact that parts 5 and 6 went viral. Thanks for that, internet. But in this series, we've done hush puppies, bleachers, nor'easters, not all at the same time, that would be ridiculous. And if you'd like to watch all of the videos in the series and make more of them go viral to convince family members of mine that this is a real job, then access the entire playlist from my YouTube homepage. Anyway, without any further mucking about, here are 8 American things that Britain doesn't even have a word for, part 7. Oh, this one brings back a lot of memories of when I had my first Tex-Mex at a really bad party in 2009. Somebody had prepared a cheese dip, and I remember they were oddly excited by the fact that they'd done so using a brand name called Velveeta, which I thought was an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical. And how can I describe Velveeta in its non-melted form? It's sort of like American cheese, right? And I can hear my British view.
Is it like butter and cheese mixed together? Is that even a thing? Probably not.
He was going, ooh, Lawrence, what is that? And American cheese are those thin slices of rubber that you put on hamburgers. Not actual.
Bro, I used to get so hungry. I'd occasionally just eat these. I'd just like eat 1 square of this cheese, and then I'd feel so sick after. But I'd be so hungry, I just wouldn't care, because they're not that bad on like burgers, I guess. Like, they're not the best, but they're not that bad on like burgers, but on their own they are disgusting. I don't know why I used to do that, man. I was a hungry kid.
Rubber. And I suppose the main difference is that Avita comes in a big squishy block. Did I? I meant Velveeta.
So it's
a Gila monster
thicker.
is an animal that you find in the southwestern United States. And they're blooming weird looking. I mean, I bet the rest of America doesn't even have a word for this. And while you might think that this animal is some sort of snake or an oversized piece of confectionery, you'd be wrong. It's in fact a lizard. And not only that, it's the only venomous lizard native to the United States. Now, thankfully, the Gila monster, which I swear is its actual name and not some character from The Hobbit, isn't typically a threat to humans. All that to say, if you find yourself lost in the Arizona desert and one of these walks past you, don't yourself. That said, with this entry, you have my express permission to do precisely that, especially if you're the sort of person that doesn't like things fluttering around them, because lunar moths are not only green.
Oh jeez, it's like a leaf. That's kind of wild, man. You look at that and it actually just looks like a leaf.
They have a wingspan of several inches. At first glance, you might confuse them for leaves from a tree, which is appropriate because they are largely found east of the Mississippi River, which houses the lion's share of America's forests.
Oh, there we go then.
Now, the cynics among you might think that I put a food up.
Wait, so we don't have a word for corn dogs? Because when I think of corn dogs, I would just call them corn dogs, but I guess that's not a word in the dictionary here or something. But I do know corn dogs. I guess people see them here, they'll call them corn dogs, or they won't call them anything because they won't know what it's called. But I feel like I've always known what they are because they're just a sort of one of the most typical sort of foods that I can sort of relate to America, especially like when it comes to like watching sports. You like get the corn dog, you get like a corn dog from like a stand or something, and then you go to like watch
item right after the Gila monster and lunar moths to put you off your dinner, and you'd be correct. I'm always doing pranks like that. But corn dogs are no laughing matter because I still have memories of being in the sweltering heat at the Indiana State Fair, and instead of cooling me down with some sort of fan, my friends at the time shoved a corn dog in my face.
But is it like, I feel like I ask this every time, so it's like batter around the sausage. God, that looks so fake, but I bet it's so good. Like, is it like sort of cakey? Or like bread, is it like crunchy? Is it like really soft and then you bite into it and then... God, it's such a weird, like... I can't imagine what it tastes like.
But what is a corn dog? Well, thankfully it's not a canine constructed out of yellow food, but it is a sausage on a stick covered in cornmeal batter. And at first, I'll be honest, I didn't really like them, largely because it was 102 degrees outside. But my stance on corn dogs has changed in recent years, as has my opinion of those friends. I'm just going to be honest with you, I only included this one because...
Wait, what? I didn't even have time to read it. Loblolly pine.
I'm just going to be honest with you, I only included this one because I like the name Loblolly pine. Loblolly pine. How can you not like that? I could fall asleep to myself saying Loblolly pine, Loblolly pine, Loblolly pine, Loblolly pine. But what is a loblolly pine? Well, a loblolly pine is a type of tree that you can't find anywhere but the United States of America. Specifically, the southern United States of America and parts of the east. And there must be a lot of them down there because despite the fact that they're concentrated in a relatively small area of the United States, they are nonetheless the second most common species of tree in the country behind the red maple. And they're so slender that you can imagine them being used in cartoons as catapults. And it's things like this that keep me awake at night. My goodness, 14 years ago, long before I became a YouTube sensation.
We don't have a word. We don't have a word for free refills.
I was introduced for the first time to the concept of free refills. It's America, you know, and if you're done with your Dr. Pepper, you can go back for seconds free of charge. If you're done with your coffee, you just have the waiter come over and top you up. If you want another beer, you have to pay for that. But yay for the caffeine and or sugar rush. Free refills were not something that I encountered in Britain, and if you would like to know more about this phenomenon and how it took off in America, check out this video, Why Does America Do Free Refills? Who says that pirates don't live among us here in the United States? I don't think anyone's ever said that. Well, I say it only to correct myself by talking about porch pirates. What are porch pirates, Lawrence? Well, a porch pirate is a term that the American media often uses to describe people that steal packages from people's porches.
Oh, right? Okay, it makes sense.
I'm not saying that package theft doesn't happen in Britain. I'm sure it does. But number one, if we do, we don't really have a name for it other than thief. Number two, our porches are usually round the back. And number three, from watching porch pirate prank videos, yes, this is a subgenre of YouTube, it seems that America has a much bigger problem with porch piracy than any other nation in the world. Thankfully, there are a lot of cases out there of these absolute clowns being set up by the police or pranksters who, in place of a genuine package, will leave them a box.
That looks like it could be quite fun to watch. I saw Mark Rober. I know he's a good YouTuber. Like, he makes some crazy good videos, but I never knew there was like a sort of genre for it.
Containing the aroma of, I don't know, a skunk. Check those videos out on YouTube. They're absolutely hilarious. They are. In fact, I might just react to one right now. I'm not going to do that. I'm just stalling because I struggled to come up with 8 entries for the 7th part in this series. So we're going to finish by getting off this plane and going home. I meant that literally. Deplaning is a word that is used when you land at airports here in the United States. I don't really remember what the staff would say to us in an equivalent situation in Britain, except, you know, bugger off. And now, whenever I think of this concept of deplaning, I just think it would be hilarious if you did that very thing in the Illinois city of Deplanes. It's pronounced Des Plaines, so that wouldn't work. Also, Des Plaines doesn't have a dedicated airport, so you'd have to land in a field. It's the worst ending. That is how we're going to end this video. Thank you for joining me for this series. I'm Lawrence.
It's that ending, man. In elementary school, we had a Gila monster that stayed in the science class and didn't realise it was strange. I wonder if Australians have interesting animals in their schools. We have I remember in one school we had like an axolotl. Wait, axolotl. There we go. Here. I mean, I assume they're all around the world because they probably strike me as like an animal that's probably living in warmer conditions. But in my primary school, there was like 2 of these in like the science room. God, they're so interesting, aren't they? So weird. Where are axolotl? Wait, what do you say here? Widespread around much of North America. So they're probably actually not even able to live in British like rivers and stuff, but we have them as like pets, I guess. So yeah, that's not a thing that's a UK animal. But yeah, I don't know, that just reminded me of that. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. If you want more of Lost in the Pond or any other videos, let me know in the comments. But yeah, until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.